Because I want my 4-year-old girls to look like 4-year-old girls, I should not have to search all over town for appropriate clothing options for my kids. I need to learn they're worth so much more than their appearance. Because my children should feel valued for their character, juniors and
their
girls.
abilities. I want my girls to be dressed cute, like little girls.
I want them to be able to hang upside down on them. None of the We need to teach them to value their bodies as well as their minds.
Good afternoon, I'm Al Cresta. Pennsylvania mom Stephanie Giese was upset after she realized that much of the girls' clothing sold at Target, even the clothing intended for very young girls, simply too short, too tight. She decided to write a blog post, and it was called A Target Intervention on Behalf of My Daughters, and the blog post struck a nerve. It got a lot of national attention. The Huffington Post ran it.
I never intended to start a movement. I was just folding laundry one day, and I noticed that my younger daughter's shorts were a lot longer than the shorts for my older daughter, and I started wondering why that could possibly be. When I wrote that article, I really had no expectations whatsoever. The blog is just a place that I go to express my feelings as a mom and as a writer. The response to that article has been overwhelmingly positive. Within a week, we had over 500,000 people liking it on Facebook. It's been shared all over the country. It's been translated into other languages. We've been reached out to by media and by retailers. And then by the following Wednesday, I had Good Morning America in my living room. And it's really made me realize that I'm not alone in wanting to see changes. As I'm starting to get more and more responses to that blog post, I'm starting to realize it's not that we're sexualizing little girls. It's more about how we want them to see themselves in the long run. Is it healthy for a girl's developing sense of identity to be so intimately tied up with her sexuality when there is so much more to her? Two biggest concerns that I've heard so far from parents who've responded to that blog post are that we really just want to let kids be kids without dealing with the complexities of sex, and also how we've been teaching girls from such a young age to start seeing themselves as merely objects. As a mom, I'm not raising girls, I'm raising women, and that makes me think about what kind of women I want them to become. Do I want them to become women who value themselves only for their superficial worth and what other people see on the outside? Or do I want them to know that their value comes from within, from who they truly are? While it's not necessarily an either or, we do really need to think about the values that we're instilling in our children and what makes them who they are.
Watching Star Wars Lego stuff that are real, and these things keep moving.
I can't help but think about the way that people react to my son versus the way that they react to my daughters. All the time people will come up to us and they'll ask my son questions about his interests, about sports, about school, and how things are going, whereas the conversation usually with my daughters will stop and start with the way that they look. They'll tell them that they have pretty hair or that they're wearing pretty dresses. What is this telling them about who they are or who they can be? If you are as concerned about this issue as I am, follow along with me on Binkies and Briefcases.com or our Modest Mavens hashtag on Twitter as I continue to explore this issue and work for change. Don't be afraid to make your own voices heard. If this experience has taught me anything, it's that as women, we don't need to use our bodies to get attention. People actually will listen to you when you express what is inside.